What is going on, guys? We've got another video to add to the saga of Mr. Beast. So apparently we had a technically former employee asking for $1.7 million from the public on a GoFundMe due to a disagreement or issue with Mr. Beast. As you can see from the comments that were posted before, there's a lot of backlash on this video so far, so let's jump right into it. Let's watch it and let's react to it together. A lot of people were saying in the comments that they felt as if he was just riding the wave of Mr. Beast's downfall as a route to success, and they were also commenting that a lot of YouTubers are doing the same thing. Honestly, we're reporting on what we're seeing going on. This is a big news subject. Yes, you are going to gain something out of this, a little bit of a subscriber here or there. But that's not the entire goal with everybody. There's a lot of channels out there that do this specifically. They just report on things. Don't hate on those guys for doing that. I mean, this is information that you guys need to know. He's got a big channel, and if your kids are watching it, or if you are kids watching it, we need to know if there's any pedophile stuff going on, because that is apparently what's being brought up now from this point. So, yeah. We'll go straight into this video now.
Everything I'm about to say is 100% true, and if at any point I say anything that may be controversial, suspect, or too good to be true, and I don't have the evidence to back it up, then call me a liar, but I guarantee you that won't happen. Ever since I was a young kid, I always wanted to be famous, and it wasn't until in 2018 of November that I knew that I wanted to be a YouTuber. Sadly, it took me 4 years to realize that I actually suck. I'm really bad. I'm super cringe, and don't worry, because I am aware of this. But I know one thing, and that one thing is I'm good at editing, and I'm great at creating ideas for others. I was meant to be off camera rather than on, and I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is being taken advantage of. I was lied to, manipulated, and thrown away like a piece of garbage. Honestly though, sometimes I kind of think that this was pretty genius. Like, how could a person so high in status be challenged by a person like me? It's like me going to Elon Musk and saying, well, he did this and he did that, and no one would ever believe me because I'm literally just a nobody.
Okay, straight out the gate, we have a lot of personality flaw in this guy right here. Never down yourself. Don't down yourself. I don't like that too much. When you put yourself down like that, you don't necessarily suck. I don't know why you would say something like that. And also, props on you for being self-aware and understanding that you are better at editing. If that's what you feel, then that's what you feel. YouTube is a very tough world, and sometimes it just takes a little more effort. Not necessarily, you can't just put one video or two videos a week out and expect to get somewhere within 4 years. It just doesn't work like that. You got to put hours into this thing, man.
So I have Chris Tyson to thank for allowing me to have this platform to tell my truth. February 2nd, 2024, I went snowboarding like I normally do, and I got an email in which I thought was a scam. I mean, for real, look at this. Even you would think the same thing if you got a random email saying, Mr. Beast follow-up, when you didn't even remember reaching out in the first place. Whether that's true or not, I certainly don't remember reaching out to him. In my line of work, I work for big name YouTubers, mostly in the sports niche, but it has its range. I've done videos for House of Highlights, Game Day, Zach TTG, Jesser, Papa Standamus, Not So Air Jordan, and then I currently edit for MMG. Not to mention I did do the 2022 NFL playoff commercials. So it's pretty normal to have people reach out to me because they see.
Straight out the gate, he sounds like so many people that I know. There's always that one guy that's doing his own freelance work in person that you would know, that always knows all these famous people but never have anything for themselves. I know that type of person. They're a victim all the time as well. They always play the victim game. So we'll see. I'm not going to judge too hard out the gate, but we'll see. I'm starting to see that victim mentality here.
Seen my work from other creators and all the other work that I've done for them. So when I got this email, I decided to give it a chance. I responded in the email, and then I proceeded to post a Facebook post because I was so happy.
As you should.
Everything is dated, and to make sure this information is credible, it helps it set well with you. Pay attention to these days. It's not premeditated, and I obviously had no idea Chris Tyson would be such a perv, so there's no way I would make these posts in advance of like some kind of trick. I also have decided to log into my actual Facebook and show my actual email rather than screenshots, so you know that it's not photoshopped. So on February 2nd, I posted, so I got a job offer from Mr. Beast today. Video call on Monday. Wish your boy luck. Now let's go into the comments because I want you guys to be definitively sure that I didn't just make this post 26 weeks ago. All this is 26 weeks ago, and it would take a whole bunch of time to just make up all these fake people, and then to go in their profile and see that they're friends with the same people.
I'm starting to see why he sucks at YouTube. He is dragging and dragging and dragging. For a professional editor, you should know that a lot of this information is not really needed. I mean, we trust you, dude. We don't have no choice but to trust you. So, yeah.
I'm friends with, having what, 62 mutual friends, and then going, you know, it's a little bit too much here, right? So none of these are faked at all. This is my actual Facebook page. So that's the post I made on February 2nd. Now I will go to my email, but for now I really do want to show you the post on Facebook so I don't have to keep going back and forth. So in a nutshell, before we get into all the details, Mr. Beast gave me a fake job, flew me out there to work. I worked my butt off, took all my ideas, sent me home and told me there wasn't a job available, and then
I'm here for you, dude, but you got to get to the point. You got to get to the point. We are 3 minutes and 4 seconds into this video, and all I've heard you say is that I'm telling the truth. I was lied to. Come on, guy. Tell me why. I'm here for you, dude. Just, you got to get to it.
Proceeded to not only do that, but then to take my idea still and then make a video. So that's what we're going to be covering.
Okay, so he stole your idea.
We're talking about a billionaire here. If you know who Mr. Beast is, you know exactly what we're talking about. And I can hang up my editing tool set, whatever you want to call it, dude. All that stuff. I'm not even going to be editing for the guy. I'm going to be using my mata. I'm going to be making ideas for him to make videos. I swear to God, that's what my job is. It's not editing. And that's what I got from our meetings was, you know, Mr. Beast, Jimmy, he passes me a piece of paper that says, I blew up the world's most expensive tanks or something. And he gives me a thumbnail that has a picture of him blowing up a tank. And it's my job to make a video out of that. So that was February 8th. On February 13th is when I went to the airport. The post says, years of hard work has led me to.
So he's the guy that sits in the room, and I picture like a boardroom, and they come in and they got the big piece of paper and they're like, we're gonna do this, these are our ideas, pick from your top 3. That's essentially what he is. Okay, I'm starting to understand. So he's an idea guy. All right, cool. But my question is if Beast brought you the tank, then how do you come up with the video? But anyways, yeah.
To this, my heart is pounding out of my chest. And as you can see, I'm flying to Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. And after that, take a very quick look at what I posted afterwards. February 26th, nothing about Mr. Beast. April 19th, nothing about Mr. Beast. April 25th, May 3rd, May 9th, May 19th, nothing about Mr. Beast. And do you know why I didn't post anything about Mr. Beast from that time? Is because something went horribly wrong and I was way too embarrassed to tell people about it because I had made so much noise, such a fuss about me going to Mr. Beast's company, and then I just got kind of screwed over. So I didn't post a single thing about that. Now, you guys are wondering, I want to see the proof. I want to see the correspondence. I want to see everything that happened between you guys. I want that information. Well, I got it. So this is the first email I ever got from a guy named Dylan. I can't say his last name, so it will be blurred out for the rest of the video because I just don't want to give out his personal PI information. So we're gonna keep it on a first name basis, and we're just gonna say Dylan. Dylan sent me an email, and it says in the subject, Mr. Beast follow-up. Hey, thanks for submitting your info to our casting team. We received your submission at this time. We're fully casted for our current videos. That's not what we want to pay attention to. What we want to pay attention to is the second paragraph. Working at Mr. Beast, we are collaborative first, and I was forward your submission. Don't know how you got it, but let's keep going. If you're interested, I would love to chat about your potential full-time or contract role work on Mr. Beast's creative team. February 2nd, 2024 that he sent me the email. It was February 3rd, 2024 that I responded to the email. I wanted to make sure after I made the post, I was like, oh crap, this actually might be a scam. Let me go back and do some research. And then the next day I was like, you know what? I feel good about this. I don't have to delete my post. So I was able to go ahead and reply to him confidently. Now this email here.
That's a pretty fair judgment. I would think it would be a scam as well. I would think that as well.
Here is my very first, I guess, direct exploration call, whatever. Basically, me being able to meet them for the very first time, like I said on my Facebook and like I said before in the email, Monday, February 5th, 2024. My second call was not only with Dylan, but now it has Dylan, Hoodie, and someone named Kara, which I have never met. I've never once met Kara, so you won't hear anything about a Kara in this video. And this took place on Wednesday, February 7th, 2024 at 2:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That was the second call. For another email also on February 7th, 2024, this was directly right after the call I had with Hoodie, Dylan, and Kara. And within that conversation, they basically told me that I needed to make a prompt. And when I say prompt, let me just read the email. Hello, Ty. We would like for you to come in for a vibe check. Vibe check means you come in for a few days to see if you're good, see if you're a good worker, see, you know, people are not going to be annoyed by you, and see if they can move further on with the hiring process. If possible, we'd like for you to come in for 3 days at some point next week. I've got a recruiting coordinator, Leslie, CC'd on this email. She will help you figure out the days which you can make it and handle your travel arrangements. Now, this is the most important email of all. What they want me to do is to do 2 video prompts. Attached, you will find 2 video prompts. Pick one that inspires you the most and document and write out how you envision it. Really let your creativity flow and assume everything is possible. So in each of these prompts, one of them is the world's most dangerous trap room and the other is 24 hours to spend $1 billion. I went with
Okay, so they're giving him, I understand now, they're giving him an idea, like they're giving him 2 ideas, and then he chooses to create a video. I get what he's saying now, because I was thinking, I was like, how do you create a video? How are you saying you're creating a video if Beast comes in and gives you the idea? I get what he's saying now. So if I tell you, or like he just said, the world's most dangerous trap room, that's a pretty broad statement. Now it's his job to say, okay, I want at 3:00 a.m. on Tuesday when he's in the trap room, a spider jumps out the ceiling and the floor crashes through. And okay, I get what he's saying now. Okay, makes sense. Dude talks so much though. Dude just runs around in circles. But I'm here for you, my guy.
With the world's most dangerous trap room because spending $1 billion in 24 hours just seems kind of boring and quite frankly linear. I think I have more creativeness than that. That's just not something I want to do. And then like we mentioned before, this is Leslie sending me an email. Thanks, Ty. Are you able to fly in on Tuesday, be on office Wednesday through Friday, and fly back out on Saturday morning? Of course, I said yes, and she gave me all my travel info. So now we're going to get into like the more just deep in the details here. So like I said, if I don't show proof, don't assume that I'm telling the truth.
Come on, man. You've cooked my steak. I can smell it. I can see you in the distance bringing it to me. I know it's cooked to perfection, but you just haven't made it to my table yet. I'm ready to eat, ready to taste these meats and juices. Come on, get into it. Get to it.
If I don't show proof for everything that I'm saying, assume that I'm literally lying about everything that
Brother,
I'm saying. Okay?
I get what you're saying.
In that email, it did say, I realized that the footage was kind of cloudy when it comes to OBS and recording the screen, so I will put screenshots of those messages up there. But in the email, it did say that I had those 2 prompts, and the 2 prompts was something about...
I'm sorry, you're watching a reaction video, so don't get mad at me if I keep pausing it. I'm getting those vibes of like, the guy like laying in bed at night and he's sitting there, he's going, you know, dang, I really wish I wish I could just get in on this, man. Oh shit, I remember I tried out for the job. I got all this evidence. Hold on, let me go, baby, let me go find the emails. Let me go find the emails. I know I got something on him. It sounds like overexcitement. Like I do that instead of somebody coming out about something, it sounds like excitement. I mean, I haven't even watched the video. I'm just going off of what I'm seeing right now. It sounds like over excitement. We'll see.
Spending $1 billion in a day in 24 hours, and the other one was the world's most dangerous trap rooms. So we're taking a look right here. I have the prompt and it says the world's most dangerous trap room, and in my intro I have PT hallway, I have the elevator, I have the Squid Games glass challenge, I have bloodthirst, and I have mole maze. And within these things in my prompt, I do have like variations. So first one, I can see the variation. So right here, underneath elevator, I wrote one thing. The ultimate goal is to escape the elevator before it reaches the top floor and the bottom falls out beneath you. But I also have a second variation. Pick, lock, tool, groove, chain in the wall. Goal is the same except the elevator moves a little faster. Move the chain object lock pick tool to unlock the locks on the roof, and the elevator reaches the top. So you ever play those games where there's like a little plastic thing and it has grooves all over? It's like a maze, and you got to move that ball through. Well, essentially that's what I did for this video, except you're chained to the thing and you got to move the ball through the grooves with the key that has a key on it, so you can reach one lock. And there's locks on each 4 corners of the elevator. So when you get this lock, now you got to go through the maze again.
You know, I'm kind of curious to see why he didn't get the job, because regardless of what I was saying about the way I feel about the video and the making of the video, he seems passionate. You know, he seems like so far he seems like a caring guy. He seems passionate, but he is definitely reaching, I think, a little bit right now. Because you're not required to get a job. But he did say they stole his idea, so I think that'll probably be what the issue is here.
And now you got to go and take this lock out and lock that, so you can escape the elevator. If you don't, the whole thing just plummets to the ground. I thought that was a pretty dope idea, right? So I did that, but I also made 2 of them because I wanted to make a variation of it. So also here in Squid Games, that was another thing. I made a different variation of what was already done, and I did that. That was part of my pitch. Now, well, let's keep going down, because I think it's somewhere around. It's the Squid Games one right here. In the second variation of the Squid Games, I say Mario style floating obstacle course. Instead of using floating blocks, which is impossible, we will use floating rack hoisted by 4 cranes. Floating rack hoisted 200 feet in the air. Each section of the obstacle course will change depending on the distance made. Start from one platform to another to advance. Safety harness will be eliminated due to the net underneath the platform. Now, with that, so we have an idea that I wanted to do. So I want to talk a little bit more about my experience of being at the Mr. Beast warehouse. I've never once personally ever signed an NDA. In all my emails and all my correspondences and all my text messages, I have never once ever signed an NDA. But what I think what they're doing, there is an iPad as soon as you get to the warehouse, as soon as you walk in, and you have to sign in. And they ask you things like your first name, last name, email address, all that, phone number, and stuff like that. And I have a very, very, very high suspicion that when you sign your name in there and you sign in, I think you're also signing an NDA. They don't come out and say it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. That's just something that I think.
Okay, so I took a brief pause because I wanted to Google some things that he just said. So just from a quick Google search, if it's saying that if both parties are not voluntarily signing on the NDA, that the agreement may be invalid. It is also stating that if you accidentally reveal information before the NDA, that basically they can tell those secrets because they didn't sign the NDA until afterwards. Apparently the NDA is only supposed to be for things from the point of signage to the end. But if he's right, that is crazy. Like you said though, that's speculation. That's not proof. But that would be pretty crazy.
I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying
a lot of people wouldn't look into it. You know, if somebody with billions of dollars said, "Oh, you sign an NDA, you can't talk," chances are they're not going to really look into it. So I get where he's coming from.
Thinking, because I don't want to get sued by them, because I'm like I said earlier, I'm a nobody. Anyways, I get to the warehouse and they have multiple different studios as in workshops where you work at, creative, thumbnail, editing, ideation, all these things, right? So they take me to, for legal purposes, for legal reasons, I will say Studio 1. Studio 1 of creative. I go to Studio 1, whatever, it's all right. We're working on the video. We're doing the, in 10 minutes, like actual 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, this video explodes. This building explodes. I worked on that for a little bit. Wasn't really feeling it. Wasn't really my jam. We went out. I will put a little video up here of me working on like a little laser challenge for that. It wasn't really my jam. Wasn't really that good at all either anyway, if I'm being honest. So I went to the next one, and this is
yeah, but if you're there to show off your skills and you're there to apply for a job, it doesn't really matter what you like and what you don't like. You kind of need to put all your efforts into it. I don't know if that's what he's saying or not, but I would expect all my efforts to be put in I would expect all your efforts to be put in if you were applying for a job for me. Your first day is supposed to be your best day,
And by the way, I'm sorry, I'm skipping all over the place. This was
really
actually the second day of me being there, because the first day I spent my entire day in my hotel, which was boring. But for whatever reasons, I couldn't go in the first day, so I spent the first day in my hotel. The second day is when I would start, going to these workshops. On the third day, I was told to go to a different studio. We'll say Studio 2, and I'm working on a video, and the video is, what was the video's name? It was another one that had nothing to do with anything. Anyways, I go through the whole day, or well, I say a good portion of the day, about 5 hours. So around like 2:00 p.m. there's a guy named Hoodie. It was also in one of the emails earlier, and he's like, and when it comes to chain of command, I think he's third in chain of command total. So you have Mr. Beast, you have Tyler, you have Jackson the head writer, and then you have Hoodie. And Hoodie was in charge of all these things. I actually had my vibe check call with Hoodie. I had my second call with Hoodie. I was in contact with Hoodie and Leslie, the coordinator, if you remember that. And everything was going through Hoodie. The guy's a great guy. He's a great guy. He took care of me. He really like gave me great information, great feedback. So as I'm going through this video, I want you guys to remember, I'm not attacking these people. I'm attacking the company, because whatever happens in the company is a reflection of Mr. Beast. It's not a reflection of the people who are doing the things like what they're doing. Your company is a reflection of what happens. It doesn't matter who does it. If your company is ran that way, it is a reflection of you. You got to take responsibility here. So I do my pitch, and Hoodie says, you know what? I want you to go shadow.
That's what we kind of said in the last video that I made. You can't control what people do, but you definitely can control to an extent what happens in your company. And if you don't, then you as an employer are a failure. You can suck at your job as well. Just like the situation where they're saying that he had a hired previous pedophile. Dude was like supposed to be 16 years old and did something to an 11-year-old. And they're saying, well, what if he didn't do it? Cool. People get accused of stuff all the time and they go to jail for it and they serve time for it. It happens. It really does happen. But you run a channel dedicated to kids. That one single guy was not important enough for you to put your credit of your company on the line for. That's pretty ridiculous. If I ran a children's game show host or game show or something like that, or a YouTube channel, whatever you want to call it, I would not have anything to do with a pedophile on that. That is just common sense. You don't do that. So yeah.
Some people for the rest of the day. I want you to go work with this team and see how you can contribute to them. So let's break down the positions in the Mr. Beast company. You have C1. C1 is the head person of that department. So if you're in creative, you're C1. So creative, studio 1, C1. So there's creative studio 2, there's a C1 for that. Creative studio 3, there's a C1 for that. Then ideation, studio 1, C1. Ideation, studio 2, same thing. They're just levels. They're just like the head honcho of that department. And then within that, you also have a C2 and a C3. I assume C2 is like the person who are in between, and I know C3 is like the bitch of the company. They just write notes. They don't do anything. They just write notes. Whatever is said, they take notes. They take minutes, and they write everything. They're like the grunts of that department. I went to this new room that Hoodie told me to go to, and there was 3 positions. Well, there was 2 positions at the time. I don't know where the third one's at. There was only a C3 and then a C2. I mean a C1. The C1's name was C. The C3, I talked to him for like 30 seconds. I don't know what his name was. And we were working on a video. We're working on a video called The World's Most Dangerous Obstacle Course. Now we are getting to the part where you finally can understand why I'm so mad, so upset that I got...
Brother, I'm trying to understand. We are 14 minutes and 17 seconds into this video, and I don't understand what happened to you yet. You're not getting your point across fast enough. All right, let's go.
Scammed. I got absolutely scammed by the biggest YouTuber in the entire world. This is where you're gonna find out why I was upset. Now it's gonna come full circle. I'm gonna have to tell you everything. We're working on the video, World's Most Dangerous Obstacle Course, and I want to show some videos and proof of what I did. From here on out, I'm gonna start speaking more theoretically so I don't get sued. So there may or may not have walls in the Mr. Beast studio where they're all dry erase marker, where you can just write anything. So if you have an idea, you're like, oh crap, I don't want to forget it, right on the wall. This is a picture.
This doesn't seem as confident as it should. It just seems like somebody that's reaching, and you're extremely worried about being sued, which I can understand that, but you're giving me doubt, my guy. For some reason, you're giving me doubt. I don't know why I feel that way, but my intuition is just feeling like there's not much here. Not $1.7 million worth.
of my pitch that I wrote. So you see right here, you get really close. Bloodthirst. Let's see. Elevator. Let's even get close. Glass challenge right here. PT hallway. Sound familiar? It's my prompt. So this is what I pitched to Hoodie. This is what I pitched to Hoodie. And I didn't put my variations in here. I just put the ones that I wanted, and I verbally said my variations just in case they didn't like my original ones. This is the world's most dangerous obstacle course. So C1 has been working on this with me and the other guy, I don't know his name, and we're working on, like, as you can see, the intro, the hook, the money mechanic. Right here, we're looking at, this is the most important part, it's just rooms. When I saw rooms, when we were brainstorming rooms, I'm like, dang, okay, rooms. I just did a prompt on the world's dangerous trap rooms. This is perfect. I can do this. It doesn't exactly follow the obstacle course, so I can kind of use my room idea with this. I mean, if you look at these ideas, whatever, it doesn't matter. The one thing that I'm looking at the most is all the way at the bottom. It looked like it says Marlo, but it says Mario. Mario is my was my idea. I'm inspired by Mario because my kids love the Mario movie. They loved it so much they named my dog Mario. Hold on. Mario, come here. Good boy. This is Mario.
There he goes. I feel for you, dude, but I understand your personality flaws at this point. But we've all seen the Mario video, so yeah.
Dog. Living proof that my kids named my dog Mario because they love the movie Mario so much. So I was inspired by that. And I think I put that in my prompt as well. If anyone's ever seen Mario, they have the floating blocks. And I wanted to see how I can make an obstacle course with those floating blocks. I thought about it and I thought about it and I thought about it and I realized it's just impossible to make floating blocks in the air. I don't know how you would do it. Logistically, it's just not going to work, and physically, I don't think it would work either. So I came up with the idea with a trellis net, or I came up with the idea with the truss. Taking a look at this picture right here. So this was my idea here. I wanted to make an obstacle course in the air, but like somehow incorporate it with the Mario idea. Somehow just, I don't know, somehow do that. This is a picture that I drew for this pitch for this idea. And I realized that, you know what? I couldn't do the floating blocks, so I wanted to make sure I can do it another way. So I had an idea of a truss with 4 cranes holding it up, and I wanted to be able to go across it. That was just the first section of it, because if you look a little bit more to the right of this picture, there's like a helicopter and a guy hanging from a ladder, and there's platforms down here, 1, 2, and 3. There's platforms right there. That was just the first section of it. I wanted the intro of the video to be something so outlandish, so crazy that a viewer had to keep watching. I did steal the no net at the bottom. I call it a net. Or no, not no net, a net down there. That's why it says a net down there, because it's just a joke that we thought was funny. But I did steal that from one of the other Mac videos. I just figured, why not? It makes it such much of a better video. So I pitched this idea, and they absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. The only person who didn't like it,
as they should, because he's definitely on the right path. He understood Mr. Beast. He understood that it needed to be outlandish. So he took basically Wipeout, and made it insane by adding the helicopter and stuff. So that's a good idea. You're on the right path, my guy. You're on the right path.
it was C1 because it wasn't her idea. So when it came down to our meeting later that day, so we were there for hours and hours and hours, and like I said, there's a hierarchy. There's Mr. Beast, Tyler, Jackson, the head writer, and Hoodie. Well, Jackson comes down there and we're having a meeting at 9 o'clock at night. The meeting goes all the way.
Imagine being the guy that gets all the information handed to him, and then he's like, all right, so now I gotta make it happen. And he's looking at his paper and he's like, floating blocks. Is that a helicopter? Is that a helicopter in my building? How am I supposed to do that? Imagine being that guy. Where do I find a helicopter? I'm sure they have one though.
Way to midnight, and then they say at the very end, we're gonna need all hands on deck on this. We're gonna need the help. We're gonna need the creativity. We need everyone to pull their weight. Does anyone have anything that's gonna help us, with this? And I told them my idea. I brought up every single thing, not only just this idea, but the rest of the video. They loved it. The budget was originally 1.7 million. That intro alone cost 1.7 million dollars.
Okay, so that's where the 1.7 million's coming from. Okay, got you.
just the intro alone. And the reason why I didn't want to bring it up immediately was only because if the budget was 1.7 million and I'm here to prove myself, I can't start with going by over budget. Say, well, it would work, because who they're going to trust? You're going to trust someone who works there for months or weeks, years, or you're going to trust some guy like me that just flew here a couple days ago. So it was a little risky, but they loved it. We stayed to midnight. They freaking loved it. I got a pat in the back. Jackson was excited. Hoodie was excited. The only person who wasn't excited was a C1 that I kind of stepped over, because like they say in the company, it don't matter if you're C1, C2, C3. C3 can be a C2. C2 can be a C1. C1 can be a C3 by tomorrow. All right, so
See, I'm telling you guys, I've seen this personality trait. When you go to, dude, respect the people above you. I'm not saying that you can't earn your way up to the top, but every time I see a person with this type of personality, they go to a job and they instantly want to be manager, or the manager doesn't know what he's talking about. I see this all the time. Like I said, I run a company myself. I see this personality type a lot. I have fired at least 2 guys that act like this guy. And so far, like I said, he's done nothing wrong, but I just have a bad, I don't like this personality type. That's just me. I've dealt with this kind of person multiple times. They never know what they did wrong. I want to know why they let you go, my guy. All right, I had a little bit of a malfunction, but I rewinded just a little bit so we could hear him say that one more time, because I want to make sure I heard it right.
At midnight, they freaking loved it. I got a pat in the back. Jackson was excited.
You see, he's excited. He did a good job. That's fine, right?
Hoodie was excited. The only person who wasn't excited was a C1 that I kind of stepped over, because like they say in the company, it don't matter if you're C1, C2, C3. C3 can be a C2. C2 can be a C1. C1 can be a C3 by tomorrow. All right, so at this,
I mean, it's a good thought process to have where you feel like you can make it in a company a lot higher or a lot faster than somebody else. Cool. I appreciate that. But the way he said a C1, I just don't like that. I don't like that.
point, I've pitched my idea. They love it. They've set a date, they set a location, and now they have a new renewed budget for this video, and everything's great. I'm so happy. I text all my friends, I call everyone. I'm like, yeah, dude, and also, so after all that, I'm feeling great. I got a verbal confirmation that I was good to go. Everything was perfect. I know about everything was literally perfect until I got home. And that's when everything started to happen. Unfortunately, we have decided not to move forward with your candidacy at this time. We really appreciate you coming out and vibing with us. We would consider you for a role like this in the future, but timing isn't quite right. And the rest are about receipts. So at first I was like, you know what? Maybe that's true. But then I started to think about it a little bit more. And I didn't want to let it bother me. So I said, hey Dylan, that's a bummer to hear, but I appreciate the opportunity. Maybe another time, like you said. Candidly, may I ask if I presented myself poorly or rubbed the crew wrongly in any way? Talking about here because I know I did.
Hold on
also,
one
I sent
second.
my receipts. If I presented myself. I started to think about it a little bit more. And I didn't want to let it bother me. So I said, hey Dylan, that's a bummer to hear, but I appreciate.
Did he just hold on? See if I can catch it.
I started to think about it a little bit more, and I didn't want to let it bother me.
Let's slow this down. Hold on one second. I think I saw something.
So I said, hey Dylan,
Okay. All right. You see where I'm coming at with this. He's been blurring the guy's name out this whole time, but his name's right there. All right.
that's a bummer to hear, but I appreciate the opportunity. Maybe another.
I'm sorry. I thought I saw that. I had to see. He's got his name blurred out, but he scrolled right through it. Okay.
The time, like you said. Candidly, may I ask if I presented myself poorly or rubbed the crew wrongly in any way? Talking about here because I know I did. Also, I sent my receipts. And this is talking about my dog because I spent like $400 for my dog to be boarded. Sent all that information. He said, hello Ty, you did not rub anyone the wrong way or present yourself poorly. We're going through some reorganization with the team and are limited on roles we have open for teams. I appreciate you sending a receipt. Blah blah blah. Whatever. This is where I started to like say, but I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything at all. Not a single word until I saw this on Twitter. Just uploaded the most insane video we've ever done. Go watch. Take a look at this picture. Take a good hard look at this picture. Does that
Which we've seen the video. Everybody knows what video he's kind of talking about.
remind you of anything you've seen so far? Does it remind you of anything you've seen remotely close to it? Or does it look like the exact same thing that I drew? The exact same thing that I pitched? everything. Do you want to know how much I got paid for that? Zero. I didn't get paid a single dime. This man, this company, his employees not only took the time to exploit me, to have me work for them under the false pretenses of a job that wasn't, you know, that they weren't available or able to give at the time, yet they had many people go.
I agree with him on that. You don't run a job fair type thing if you're not ready to hire people. And who knows, this could be an easy way to get free advice. I mean, it's a good idea on their end. I mean, hey, we tell this guy that we're gonna hire him, and we don't, but we take his idea. I see where he's coming from with that. All right, okay. How could you compensate him? Not entirely sure, because he doesn't work there anymore, or didn't work there at all. So I don't know how you would expect compensation. I don't know how they would do that. But yeah, I see where he's coming from now.
Oh, in and out, in and out. On my second day, there was like a different group that I saw the day before, and then they were on their last day, and then on my last day there was a group of people that was their first day. You're trying to tell me you didn't have any positions, at all, yet you have.
We need to find out, did they hire anybody that day? That's the information we need to know. Did he not get hired because they found a better candidate, or did they not hire anybody from that point on? You know what I mean? We need to know what happened, because if they didn't hire anybody, then that kind of proves what was going on here.
You had all those people, and not only did you do that, you used my idea. A lot of people will say, you know what, legally he had the right to do that. I don't know in what legal standpoint he could. I could be wrong, but let's think about this though. We're talking about a billionaire. We're talking about the world's biggest YouTuber. How is that so hard to just compensate for someone for some work? How hard is it to compensate someone for their ideas that made you millions and made me zero? I don't care if it was legally done or not. Like,
and I get where he's coming from. He could have at least put in like the, you know, it's not called end credits, but we'll call it end credits. But he could have at least put the guy's name, been like, you know, shout out to such and such, or not shout out, but like done like a professional thing, like, you know, co-hosted by da 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 da, written by da 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 da, and then had his name down there where he belonged. You know, that would have been better than nothing.
think about it. We all have hearts here. We're all watching YouTube videos for the same exact reason. How messed up is that? You're a billionaire, dude. It's not like it's I'm some guy on the street, or you're some guy on the street. You're a billionaire, man. Pay people for their ideas. Don't just fly them out there, take their ideas, and send them home. You're giving these people false hope. You're taking.
You can't use his, don't use his money as a reason. It's not about the money. It's about the being a decent human standpoint. Just hell, he could have $100 billion. I don't care how much money he's got. He earned his money. He's made his money. He doesn't owe anybody money just because he's rich. He doesn't have to give anybody anything just because he's rich. That's just the end of it. Take the money out of it. He owes you some sort of recognition because of that's what you do as a human. That's what you do as a human. Not, oh, he's rich, he lives on a different standard. No, that's not the case.
Taking their dreams from them. You're taking everything that's about them, their creativeness, their fucking imagination. I'm sorry, I'm actually getting worked up right now. You can't do that to people. You can't do that to people. And on top of that, with everything going in the media, it just kind of shows his true colors. It shows the true nature, your character of who you are. This ain't it, man. This seriously is not it. This is just part one, because I believe part two will shock you, and I don't want to get to the point where I have to do part two and I really have to expose a lot of things that might get me sued. So I'm working on something right now. I know this may sound really crazy because, you know, I'm asking for money, and that's basically what I'm doing with Mr. Beast. I want him to pay me. He owes me this money. He owes me this. He can't, like, you can't just keep doing this to people. You can't do this. So I'm asking you guys, if you believe everything that I've said, there's without a doubt in your mind, you're like, you know what? I like the proof. I like what I saw. I want to help this guy out. Please help me out. I'm going to start a GoFundMe. We work too hard to be stomped on by these guys, to be trampled by these people in power. And who's the one that benefits from it? Think about it. Who's benefiting from this? Me or Mr. Beast? It ain't me. So please support your boy. And let's just hope I don't have to do a part two. I am, though. I actually am. I have so much more proof to go to. I have text messages. I have.
All right, so that was a 20-some minute long video that probably could have been done in approximately 10 minutes. But besides that, I see where the guy's coming from. He seems like a genuine guy. I don't know why he didn't get the job. I wish I knew why he didn't get the job. I wish I knew if somebody was hired. I understand where the comments are coming from now about, the GoFundMe. And I feel you, dude. Get your bag, bro. But do it in a different way. You're going to get plenty of views off of this. I mean, you've already gotten over 1 million views. Monetize yourself on YouTube. Do that. You have a way to get what you are deserving of pretty easy right now. You are basically an ex-employee. Use that to your advantage, man. Get on YouTube, make those videos, and get your thing, dude. You could have, so $1.7 million is a lot of money. And nobody out here on this side of Mr. Beast owes you that 1.7 million. If it's possible for you to somehow win a case against him, then do it. But what they can do is they can give you viewers, they can subscribe to you, and they can support you in that way. And they can give you way more than 1.7 million. They can give you a channel that can be around for years because you don't have a bad personality. You don't have a bad attitude. You're a bubbly character. You don't suck at YouTube. You're good at editing. My God, shoot to the top, bro. Don't let stuff like this hold you back, and don't get discouraged because this one video made you feel a little bit like you were doing the wrong thing. You're doing the right thing. Reach for the top, grab that bag that you deserve, and move on from there. But anyways, guys, you know how it is. We're here on PoprockGaming. We're going to be done for today on this video. If you guys have any more videos that you would like for me to react to, drop them down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and we will see you on the next one. Also, if you enjoy Fortnite, Minecraft, things like that, stick around to the channel. We do those games live, and I also make my own personal videos on those as well. So anyways, guys, we'll catch you on the next one.